Hello everybody and welcome to Law and Court Cases. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the killer who created a bit of a media sensation here in the UK when she did a press conference. This woman is Tracie Andrews, sometimes known as the road rage killer. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Tracie Marguerite Andrews was born on the 9th of April in 1969 in England. She was the middle child of 3 siblings and had several half-siblings. Her parents had a volatile relationship and they separated when Andrews was just 6 years old. Their separation would have a lasting effect on Andrews. Upon leaving school, Tracie became a hairdresser for a short period but had aspirations of becoming a model. She later went on to work as a barmaid. In 1990, at the age of 22, Tracie fell pregnant and gave birth to her only child, a daughter named Carla, with her then boyfriend of 4 years. However, the two separated shortly afterwards. Her ex-boyfriend said that Andrews was prone to explosive displays of anger and was aggressive. Multiple partners recalled Andrews as being possessive and not liking them having a social life outside of her presence. In October of 1994, Andrews met a local man, 23-year-old Lee Harvey, at a nightclub in Birmingham. It is said the two had an instant attraction to one another. Lee Harvey also had a daughter from a previous relationship, a young girl called Danielle. Described by those who knew him as a family man, Lee overall was described as a lovely person. The relationship between Harvey and Andrews moved at warp speed. Within 3 months of the pair meeting, they moved in together. Their off-again, on-again relationship was marked by volatility, with both being possessive and jealous of each other's relations with their children's parents. Tracie took issue with Lee's co-parenting relationship with his daughter's mother, Anita. The two stayed civil and amicable for the sake of their daughter, whilst Lee took issue with this for the same reasons with Tracie's ex-partner Andy, who was the father of Carla. The couple frequently argued, which sometimes escalated into violence and led to the police being summoned. Lee's family did not like Andrews from the beginning. They found her controlling, self-obsessed and arrogant. Due to the off-again, on-again relationship, Lee would move back in with his mother whenever the two would separate. On a particular night, Tracie was going out with a few of her friends. She instructed Lee that while she was out, she did not want to see him at all. She just wanted to be with her friends. However, Lee still turned up to the nightclub Tracie and her friends were in. This resulted in Tracie going into a fit of rage, physically assaulting Lee. She slapped him, punched him, even biting him. A friend of Lee said the bite mark looked like someone had taken a bite out of an apple but didn't take the chunk away. Despite this violent and disturbing act, Lee did not leave Tracie, instead ended up proposing. She said yes. He said it was on the grounds of believing that this would make the relationship more stable and safer for the both of them. Tracie got very excited about this announcement and planned to tell Lee's family about their engagement and upcoming family barbecue. However, not being the only person with news, Lee's sister also announced that she was engaged at this family event. This triggered Tracie to go into a rage, claiming the family plotted and planned it in spite of her and ruined her chances of being the centre of attention. Due to the unsettled tensions between the family, Tracie decided that both she and Lee would not be attending his sister's wedding, something that Lee ends up agreeing to as a means to keep the peace and to prevent the ending of their own relationship. This tragic decision would result in Lee missing his own sister's wedding. Shortly after this, the couple discovered they were expecting, deciding to come together in an attempt to bring up their child in a better living environment. Things did improve for a short while, however, it was not to last. 2 months after revealing her pregnancy to Lee, she tells him that she suffered a miscarriage as a result of falling down some stairs. This tragedy brought Lee's family back together, wanting to help the couple who were now mourning the loss of a child, as they deemed this was bigger than them and the issues that they had. It did not take long for the couple to return to their old ways, however, a continuous cycle of arguing and breaking up multiple times. The worst argument they had resulted in Tracie admitting that she in fact never had a miscarriage but instead had an abortion. Despite this, the two still stayed together once again. On Sunday the 1st of December in 1996, after yet another fierce argument, Tracie and Harvey decided to go to a local pub in the evening in an attempt to reconcile. The pair would go to leave the pub at 9:45 p.m. The drive was about 10 minutes away from Tracie's home. Andrews claimed that on the way back to their flat in the Becks, Alverchurch, Worcester, later that evening the pair became involved in a road rage incident with 2 men. She claimed a car had followed her and Harvey and that 2 men from the car had confronted and attacked them after stopping them on the country lane. The sad reality is Andrews had stabbed Harvey over 42 times with a penknife after they had stopped in his car following an argument. Harvey had been stabbed and his throat slashed. His carotid artery and jugular vein had both been severed, which would have caused a huge amount of blood loss, rendering him defenceless in a matter of just seconds. Harvey's sister later said that she knew from the time that she had been told about the murder that Andrews had killed him. The crime scene was discovered by a man visiting a friend on Coppers Hill, where the murder took place, at 10:45 p.m. He was alerted to the sound of a commotion coming from outside the friend's home when he was going to get into his car. As he approached the sound, he found the body of a deceased man crumpled in the lay-by of the country lane. He was saturated in blood, and there was a woman, also covered in blood, standing above him and screaming for assistance. Lee was pronounced dead when the police arrived at the scene. Tracie was taken to the hospital for injuries sustained during the incident. Andrews said that when she attempted to intervene, the passenger punched her before driving off, leaving her cradling her dying fiancé on the deserted lane. She later stated, "Lee was making a funny noise like a gurgling sound. I knelt in something wet. I started to cry." When she appeared for the press conference, she was bruised and had 2 black eyes. She described the killer as very overweight with starey eyes. Police working on the murder case asked the public for any information which could lead to the driver of a Ford Sierra or the passenger. Sergeant Roger Thatcher stated, "We are appealing for witnesses to come forward who may have seen the Ford Escort on the road the night or any other car, whether or not it was connected with the Escort." Just the day after the press conference, Andrews was rushed to Alexandra Hospital after overdosing on sleeping tablets and tranquilizers. She was released from hospital the following day and immediately arrested by police who were working on the murder case. She was questioned at the police station before being admitted to another hospital after becoming emotionally distressed. Suspicion had already fallen upon Andrews almost immediately. Police had been able to track down hundreds of motorists who had been driving along the same roads at around the same time, and they alleged that they were not being chased. However, none of these witnesses could recollect seeing a Ford Escort in chase of a Ford Sierra. Question was also raised about Andrews' timeline of events. She has said they left the pub at 9:50 to drive 3 miles back to their home, but police were not called to the scene until an hour later. Moreover, according to the friends and family of Andrews and Harvey, the relationship was described as stormy. The couple had been planning on getting married in the summer, but according to a friend of Harvey's, she's always throwing him out and taking him back. The friend said the engagement had been called off 3 times. On the 20th of December, Andrews was charged with murder. However, she was freed on bail just before Christmas. While on bail, Andrews continued to staunchly deny any involvement in Harvey's murder and made a plea to the public for information that could lead to the quote-unquote real killer. She claimed that she heard the driver of the Ford Sierra call the killer Jez, before adding that a woman had told her that she was the victim of a road rage accident in the same area a few weeks beforehand. At the beginning of July 1997, Andrews stood trial in Birmingham Crown Court for the murder of Harvey. During opening statements, David Krigman, QC, said that it was prosecution's argument that Andrews had stabbed Harvey to death following an argument and then invented a mystery murder motorist. He said that Harvey was stabbed with a penknife more than 30 times in the head, neck, chest and back. During the trial, it came out that around 3 months before the murder, police were called to Harvey's flat following an argument between the couple. A neighbour testified that on the day of the murder, she had heard the couple arguing at Andrews' home. She said that on occasion she heard them arguing all day on and off. The argument continued at the pub and then in the car after leaving. The prosecution theorised that Harvey had pulled the car to the side of the road and he and Andrews got out to continue their screaming match before Andrews unleashed a vicious attack on him. Police had been able to track down 2 witnesses who testified that no car had been pursuing the couple. Richard Main, who discovered the couple, also testified that Andrews did not mention another car or motorist. It was only when his friend came out to offer more assistance that Andrews started to recite this complex road rage story. It was also determined that 7 minutes had elapsed from the murder to when the neighbour came out. During these minutes, Andrew had not offered medical aid to Harvey and had not called for help. She only sought assistance when she spotted Main leave his friend's house and return to his car. The prosecution argued that this time was spent concocting the story about the road rage incident. According to the prosecution, after stabbing her fiancé to death, Andrews tucked the knife into her boot and then disposed of it in the waste bin at Princess Alexandria Hospital, where she was treated the night of the murder. A bloody imprint had been found inside of her boot which matched the knife that had been used to kill Harvey. However, the actual murder weapon could never be recovered. Andrew's hair had also been found in Harvey's right hand, while another clump of her hair was found nearby, indicating that there in fact had been some kind of struggle. Evidence also showed a blood splatter which was consistent with someone dripping blood onto the floor at the back of Harvey's car. This evidence completely contradicted Andrews' claim that Harvey had been attacked at the front of the car. Tracie Andrews was found guilty of the murder of Lee Harvey and sentenced to life in prison with a recommended sentence of 14 years. 2 years later, while serving her prison sentence, Andrews finally confessed to the murder. She said that she had lost control during an argument about an ex-lover and stabbed Harvey to death. She claimed that Harvey had been the instigator, even alleged that he had threatened her with the knife. In 2011, Tracie was released from prison after serving 14 years. She has since changed her name, her appearance, and gotten married. According to her new husband, he knows of her past but won't let that get in the way of their relationship. Speaking of her release, the parents of Harvey said, "Some might say Tracie has served her time and deserves a second chance, but she's ruined our lives. There is no second chance for Lee or for us. We are serving life sentences until the day we die." I honestly do not feel that justice was served. Tracie Andrews deserved life in prison. She should be in prison, and it's where she should always be until the day she died. This is the story of Tracie Andrews, a tragic story of a single father taken far too soon. My deepest condolences go out to Danielle and the rest of Lee's family. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.